my channel Commerce Insight. So today we are going to discuss Sahodaya question paper and answer key. So in this question paper, it does have 34 questions and 18 MCQs. Then 19 to 24 questions is 2 marks and 3 marks. We will be discussing how to present an answer and what are the important points to remember while writing an answer. Okay, so moving on to the very first question. So the first question here is Shruti gathers all kinds of information, means she gathers every kind of information which help her to boost the business. Now identify which way uh, that help her to spot the trend. First one is think trend. The answer here is think trend. So watch, talk and read. Yes, you might be thinking all these can be helpful, but from these think trend is the first trend that we use, isn't it? From thinking only we can go to talk, watch and read and all, isn't it? So think trend, according to her thinking only she was able to collect information and she was able to boost a business. Now moving on to next one, there are two persons who are involved in wholesale business, and they started to buy directly from the farmers in bulk, and they sold it in very small quantities. So they also have a different procedure to solve the conflict between them if they have any. So which kind of business plan is being used here? It is organizational plan. So according to organizational plan they have different procedure to solve the conflict. In financial plan, it is not talking about financial plan, it is not talking about production plan, it is also not talking about operational plan. So operational plan is very different. So operation plan includes routing, scheduling, all these things and all, but here they are talking how they are how they are buying directly from the farmers and they are selling to the retailers in very small quantity. Also they are having a laid down procedure for solving their conflict. So they have explained that there is a procedure. So procedure comes only in organizational plan. If it was financial plan, they would have talked about in what quantity they are buying and how much rupees they are selling it means, isn't it? So this is how the second question goes. Third question is which is not an element of operational plan. So which is not an element. Routing, scheduling and dispatching is the element of operational plan, so which is not plan layout. Now refer to this logo. So in this question there is a R means that is the trademark. So given here what the image represent. So this is not a brand mark or brand name. The question here is this particular R in the question in the particular image shows the trademark. Now moving on to next question. Assertion recent question. Advertising costs are passed on to the consumers in the form of higher prices. Yes, if we are using advertisement as a sales strategy, the cost incurred in advertisement is being passed on to the consumers in the form of higher price. We will be adding a percentage of advertisement cost to the total cost, isn't it? So that is assertion is true. Now advertisement helps in increasing sales and thereby reduces cost. No, advertisement itself is it's very expensive, so it does not reduce cost. So if the reason only was advertisement helps in increasing sales, then option would have been A. But here thereby reduces cost, it is false. Advertisement does not reduce cost, advertisement increases the cost. Okay, so answer is assertion is true, reason is false. Now moving on to next question. Match the following. So I am directly going to the answer. Break even point is 3. That is it. Break even point means total revenue equals to total cost. Then 2, pro forma of income statement. So that is 4, means net profit minus cost and expenses. Net profit minus cost is the income. Now cash flow statement is actual payment made or receipt, means inflow and outflow of cashes. Pro forma balance sheet. Balance sheet is what summary of all the assets and liabilities, means total of asset and liabilities. Now moving on to next question. McDonald's, they opened a franchise in India and they have been taught about how the burgers and other products are being sold with the trademark. Also they have given their trademark, and the franchise helped the franchisee given the franchisees got the instruction from the franchise how to conduct the business or the restaurant, and this is an example of which kind of opportunity, that is business format franchise opportunity. Means there is a business format there where they have to follow the franchise and the rules and regulations of franchise. How the franchise is being run, same way the franchisee unit should be also run, should be conducted. So this is business format franchise opportunity. Now, which of the following is not a method of raising capital in primary market? So the question here is in which is not a method of raising. So see, XMA Limited raise additional capital from existing shareholders. Means from the existing shareholders they are offering securities, that is a right issue. So right issue means we are issuing shares to the existing shareholders, that is a right issue. Now raising fund from general corporation of, this is the insurance, means we are selling our shares, that is issuing shares. Okay, next one is offer to employees, means increasing efficiency to the employment labor turnover, made employees the shareholders, means we are offering the shares to the employees itself, and means offer to employees is the type of primary market method. And here is Sujata AI raised one from Mr. Bansal. So she only raised one from Mr. Bansal, and in exchange of ownership. That doesn't come in the primary market, that comes in the secondary market. So basically the first three methods are, first three is existing shareholders, that is of right issues. Second one is issuing shares to the public or going public. Third one is offer to public. So the one which is not coming under this method is D. Now moving on to the next question is, logo of a company is dash. First one, key visual opponent, that is a key, that is the logo of company, one definition. Second one is provides essential information to the company. So once we see the logo, so we are able to identify which company, which brand, and what they are selling, isn't it? So next one is a memorable dramatic phrase with that will sum up the product. No, so it is not a phrase, it is a logo. Phrase means it's the tagline. So the question here is about, it is a logo. Next one is can be graphic mark or emblem. Emblem means it is a design. So the answer here is 1, 2 and 4. Moving on to next question, which of the following is below the line? So from the mass media audiences, above the line. So targeted small group is below the line. It helps in identify brand identity. It is wrong. Now it involves conventional media like print, that is TTL, through the line. So the answer here is it targets identified small groups. Moving on to next question, that is each partner is liable for the acts performed by the partners. So acts performed by the partners, which kind of partner? So that is mutual agency. The partner can bind the other partner and the firm by his act in the ordinary course of business. So these two shows these two are the definition of mutual agency. Now moving on to next question, dash element of the financial plan describes how enterprise fund will be dedicated to different asset. Means how the funds of the enterprise will be dedicated to different asset to get the highest possible return. So that comes under investing decision. So dedicated to different asset means how we are going to invest into different asset to get a highest possible return. So that is the answer comes here as investment decision. Next question is, venture capitalists are typically a selective in deciding what to invest. So according to venture capitalists definition, they may invest only in 1 in 400 opportunity. Means if they are presented 400 opportunity, they will be only investing in one. Then they are really rare. They will be only looking on the rare opportunities which is given to them. So the answer here is both A and B. Next question is gross working capital. As I have explained in my previous video, that gross working capital is a total of all the current asset. Now moving on to the options given here. So gross capital is equal to cash plus accounts receivable fixed asset plus other current asset. That is wrong. There is no item called accounts receivable fixed asset. So either it should be accounts receivable plus fixed asset. That is wrong. So fixed asset is a long-term liability, long-term asset. So that doesn't come here. So this is wrong. Next one is working capital is equal to cash plus accounts payable, inventory plus other other current assets. So cash is a current asset. Accounts payable, payable means bills payable, that is a current liability. So this is also not correct. Next one is cash plus accounts receivable plus inventory plus other current asset. This is the correct. So cash plus debtors plus inventory plus other current or other current asset, all are the current assets. Now next question is cash plus accounts receivable plus inventory plus long-term liabilities. So accounts receivable, inventory, long-term liabilities. A long-term liability comes under the liability side of the balance sheet. So this is also not correct. I hope this is clear. So the answer here is clearly C. Now moving on to next question. Identify which of the following is not a current liability for a furniture manufacturing unit. Stock of raw materials. Raw material is always what? Raw material is always a asset. It is the stock. Stock is always the asset of the company. So creditors, outstanding liabilities and short terms are the liabilities of a business, whereas stock of raw material is clearly the asset of the business. These are the liabilities. The stock of raw material is the asset. Now moving on to next question. Which of the following is an advantage of issuing shares through IPO? So what is the advantage of issuing shares of the IPO? It results in higher valuation of the companies and better prestige. So it gives higher valuation as well as give a better prestige. Now moving on to next question of part A. Dash acquisition, the purchasing company becomes a subsidiary of the purchased company. Means if A and B, A is acquiring B and A becomes subsidiary to B, that is backflip acquisition. So answer is backflip acquisition. Now moving on to next and the last question of section A is a financial plan is a projection of key financial data about. So the four options are given here. From this four options, which are the elements that projects the financial plan? So first one is economic feasibility of an enterprise, orderly movement of goods, market opportunities and threats, potential investment commitment needed to the new venture. So the answer is 1 and 4. Why? Because financial plan shows economic feasibility of the enterprise, so it does not show the orderly movement of goods. That does not come here. That comes on the production plan. Now marketing opportunities also comes in the marketing plan. So here these are the two. So potential in financial plan always shows the potential investment that required for the new venture as well as economic feasibility of the enterprise. So 1 and 4 is the answer. So this is all about part 1. I hope my explanation is clear to you. Moving on to next section, that is section B. Now when you're writing 2 marks, 3 marks or 5 mark question, it's always better to start with the definition, then move on with the advantages, disadvantages and example as per the question. Now definition is very important. For example, here the first question given here is state the objectives of the problem identification. Now the question is asked as what are the objectives of problem identification. Now students, if you're writing the objectives of problem identification as points as they have written here, it should clearly state the problem, identify the target group facing. So if you're only stating like this, it is always better you guys to explain it in 3 to 4 sentences. If you're simply stating to or simply listing out the problems or giving headings doesn't give you 2 marks. If the question is enlist or list out like that, enumerate, so you can list out the headings. But if the question is state or explain or briefly explain, you need to explain it in 2 to 3 sentences according to the mark. If it is 3 marks, means 3 to 4 sentences. 5 marks, absolutely you need to explain it in 6 to 7 sentences minimum. So this is how you have to explain a question. Now according to this question, see, explain this to state any 2 objective of problem identification. First you have to explain what is problem and how do we identify the problem identification. You have to explain that, then you have to state the objective. Clearly they have stated 2 objectives, still you can explain you can list the objective up to 3 to 4. So this is how you can simply, if you're writing 2 objective and one of them went wrong, what happens? You won't be getting full marks. So it's always better you write more than 2 objectives according to the textbook. Moving on to next question is opportunity is derived from what? from the needs and problems. So you need to draw a flowchart. So you need to comment on this particular definition and you need to draw a enterprise process program. So you need to explain the particular idea, so particular statement. So that statement is being explained here, and this diagram of the environment is being drawn. So these are the 1 mark for this, 1 mark for drawing. This is how you are getting mark. So moving on to next one, there is an article that is being showed and you are asked to find the two elements of pestle analysis. So the two elements of the pestle analysis, ecological means they are repurposing the fishnet and fishnet to address the ecological concern, as well as technological needs, is that is they are replacing the fossil based material to the renewable bio-based alternative with the help of technological shift of the towards the sustainable production and development. So these are the two explanation. Yes, for 2 marks you need to explain minimum 2 to 3 sentences from the question, from the article itself, why, stating why. Now next one is 21st question. There are two different questions, A and B. Now moving on to the first question, that is refer to the text given here and you need to explain which kind of operating cycle. Now operating cycle, the other name of operating cycle is cash conversion cycle. Now there are two different kinds of cash conversion cycle or operating cycle. The first cycle here is trading cycle, and other one is manufacturing cycle. So from the given diagram you need to identify whether it is trading cycle or manufacturing cycle. Don't write the type of business identified here is cash conversion cycle. That is completely wrong. So the answer here is trading cycle. Now you need to analyze the working capital requirements. So from this from the trading cycle you need to understand which is the working capital requirement here. So the working capital requirement here is cash and stock of goods. So these are the two things that is being identified as a working capital requirement. So this is how you are getting 2 marks. Now next question is discuss briefly the two types of franchising. Again the question asked here is what are the two types of franchising. You have to start with the definition, list out the different kinds of franchising, then explain the two kinds of franchising. So this is how we are going to get 2 marks. Now moving on to next, there is an article given to you and you are asked to identify two different kinds of ways to spot the trend. So according to the answer key provided, the answers are watch trend and talk trend. You have to quote with the help of from this particular paragraph. And also if you are writing any other trends by stating the other than watch trend and talk trend, if you are explaining read trend and think trend from this particular paragraph, you will be awarded with the mark. But the correct answer is watch and talk trend. Now moving on to the next question, 23rd question, describe pitch deck with oral narrative format of business plan used by entrepreneurs. How is it different from written presentation of external stakeholders? So here they have only written the definition of pitch deck with oral narratives and external stakeholders as from the textbook itself. Now you need to explain in 1 or 2 sentences how is it different from. So here they have written the potential investors in reading written presentation means executive summary, few paragraph like that and all. So you need to explain it in 1 or 2 more sentences as well. This is for 2 marks. Still you need to add 2 more sentences. Now moving on to next question, that is from chapter 5, that is business arithmetic. Now the first question is, there is an entrepreneur who started a new website, Save Electricity, and he sold 24,000 bulb, 4,000 each, and his cost of placing an order is rupees 5,000 and economic order quantity 2,000. So the EOQ is already found, that is 2,000 bulbs, and you need to find what are the holding cost, that is carrying cost. So next question here given is, you have to calculate return on equity. Now 80 lakh rupees is the total capital invested, and out of the capital invested 40 lakh is the debt, and there is a interest of 20% per annum. Now in this particular question you need not to find anything, any tax or interest or anything like that. The net profit given here is after tax. So net profit simply means profit after interest and tax. So you need not to calculate any interest or tax on the given debt. So I hope that is clear. Now moving on to the answers of first question. So EOQ is already given to you. EOQ simply means it is the answer that is being taken out from the square root. So EOQ means 2000 into 2000, that is 40 lakh. So when you square root of 40 lakh is rupees 40 lakh is 2000, so 2000 units. Now annual demand is already given to you 24,000. Ordering cost is also given to you 5,000. Carrying cost is not given to you. Now substitute into the formula root 2 under the root of 2 into 24,000 into 5,000 divided by C. Now C will be taken to the other side of equals, whereas 2000 will be coming to the denominator side, and the root will be gone because EOQ was taken out from the square root, as I said. So 2000 into 2000 will be the answer. So you have to substitute 2 crore 40 lakh divided by 40 lakh is equal to 60 per unit, and that is per unit. You need to find holding cost for the 24,000, isn't it? He's been selling for how much rupees? 1,000 rupees. So 60 into 1,000, that is 60,000. That is the answer given here. Moving on to the next question. Next question is the total capital they have invested is 80 lakh, loan is 40 lakh, interest is 20% per annum, net profit is also given to you. As I said, net profit simply means net profit interest after interest and tax. You need not to find any interest and tax when the net profit is given to you. So 80 lakh minus the formula here is net profit by equity into 100. So net profit by equity. So equity, how do we find equity? 80 lakh minus debt, that is 40 lakh, is 40 lakh. So from there you need to find. So 8 lakh by 40 lakh into 100 is 20%. This is your return on equity. So you should write percentage. Here you should write per unit. So if you're finding EOQ, that is in units. So never forget that EOQ and return on equity are not the same. It is different. Now moving on to next question, 3-mark section, that is section C. Again a paragraph is given to you. You are asked to identify what kind of product mix is being discussed above and what is the term explained to the term that is being given to protect the product against the legal protection. So the answer here is branding. So the first it identify what kind of product mix is used, what kind of product mixes they have used branding. So branding helps to identify the different kinds of brand, isn't it? So under the branding only different kinds of tools comes, isn't it? Now next question is trademark. Is it's not intellectual property, right? It is not this one it's not copyright or patent, right? It is the trademark is used for the business. So I hope that is clear. Now moving on to next question. Next one is what are the elements of operational plan? The elements are already given to you. You need to explain what is scheduling, following up, and inspection. Not going deeply into those 3 questions. Now moving on to next question, that the statement is given to you and have been asked what is market research. Explain the how it helps entrepreneur to generate demand driven ideas as a source field. So you need to explain what is market research and what is market driven ideas or demand driven ideas as a source field. That is the explanation for this particular answer. Moving on to next question. A paragraph is given to you and you are asked to identify the pricing method and one advantage and disadvantage of pricing method. So the pricing method here is cost plus pricing method, and the advantage of pricing cost plus pricing method is it is simple and straightforward, means it is very easy to calculate, as well as companies are determining to sell cost plus pricing, cost plus the profit. That is the answer here. And disadvantages means it does not affect the market demand, means they never take into consideration of customers preference or competitors pricing or market demand ideas, and also they do not consider. So you can write other 2 advantages and disadvantages other than the answer key. Moving on to next question. That is, explain the components of sales strategy used by an entrepreneur. That is very direct. Next one is, what are the rules of advertisement. Now when you might have thinking components of sales strategy, that will be direct and indirect sales strategy. No, that is the classification of sales strategy. The components of sales strategy is product placement, promotion, testimonials, and core selling strategy. So these are the components of selling strategy. You need to draw and then explain it in 2 to 3 sentences each for each classification. Now classification means components of sales strategy. Never write advertisement, marketing, and direct sales strategy, indirect sales strategy, like that and all. That is wrong. Now moving on to next one is, what is the rules of advertisement, discuss. So the rules of advertisement is aim, target, media, and competitors. It is not AIDA, it's wrong. Okay, so the rules of advertisement is aim, target, media, competitors. The AIDA is the objective of the advertisement. That is not the rule of advertisement. Now moving on to next question. Next question is also from chapter 5, that is, you have to find EOQ. Now here 25,000 is sold, and in this question the speciality of this question is carrying cost is given in percentage. Now you need to find carrying cost. How do you find carrying cost? They have already told the carrying cost is 20% of the cost. What is the cost? Cost of copy is rupees 20. So 20% of 20, that is rupees 4. Now baki every item is given here, isn't it? So the cost of placing order is rupees 20. So every item is given to you. You need to only substitute into the formula, that is root of 2 dp by c. Now according to Cbse textbook, root of 2 dp by c is being recommended. Now if 2 AO by c is the other formula that you have been used when you are going to higher studies and all. So please use root of 2 dp by c. So when you substitute into the formula, you get 500 units. Now moving on to section D, that is 5-mark question. A paragraph is again given to you of Mr. Gupta, who started a business and they did a digital survey in artificial intelligence, and they found a gap between the the business and the technology, and they somehow build the gap by innovations and by bringing AI application to the business and all. So you are being asked, identify the idea field used here. So the idea field used here, as I've told, they are using innovation, means they are using creative efforts. That is the answer. And next one is, state any 2 idea field other than this. You can write natural resources, you can write market driven, you can write service and all. So any 2 other than this. Now next one is, give reason, mention 2 economic social benefits. So you have to explain 2 benefits. It's economic development, since it is AI driven tools, it helps in productivity and efficiency of the business, that is economic development. Next one is job creation and skill development. So these are the answers. So 1 mark for identifying the idea field, 2 mark for explaining 2 idea fields, and 2 marks for explaining the benefits. So this is how you are getting 5 marks. Now next question, 31st question is, elaborate various advantages of franchisee franchise from the form of business to franchisee, means advantages and disadvantages to franchisee from the franchisee. That is the question. Next one is, you need to explain you need to explain 3 pricing strategies, that is penetration, variable, and cost plus pricing strategy, and the advantages and disadvantages of all the 3. Now moving on to the first answer, that is advantages of franchising to the franchisee. So you have to explain it like this itself. So they do have market knowledge by they also conduct market surveys. They help in providing training. They also help in providing the labors with increasing labor, operating cost and all. They also support the franchise financially. They also use standard procedures, means there is a standardization over all the franchise units and all. Now disadvantages are, right and only way of doing things. There is only one and single way of doing things, as it is being started we are starting a franchise unit. There is a cost implication, means whatever the cost implication is being used in the franchise, the main unit, you have to follow the same cost implication. Now risk of franchisor getting bought, means there's a chance that since you are starting a franchising unit of A, so there is a chance of B buying the franchising unit, franchisor getting bought. Then inability to provide services, we can only provide services according to the company, the franchise company. We cannot provide our own services. So you need to explain all the four, then only you will be getting 5 marks. Simply stating the advantages and disadvantages doesn't give you full marks, full 5 marks. You need to explain it at least in 3 to 4 sentences minimum of each advantages. Now next question is, you need to explain penetration variable and cost plus pricing strategy. You need to explain all the definition. Thereafter you need to explain the advantages and disadvantages of each. Now here again I'm telling, simply writing in points or listing out the points doesn't give you 5 marks. 5 mark is where you have to explain each and every point, then only you will be getting 5 marks. As you can see here, each and every point is being explained in 3 to 4 sentences or 1 to 2 sentences minimum, explaining what is the disadvantage or advantage. This is how you have to state the answer. Moving on to 32nd question, that is, what are angel investors? State any 4 features. Now here same, the question is very direct. You need to explain angel investors with the definition from the textbook, as well as you have to explain the key features of the angel investors. Now again I'm stating, if you're simply writing most angel investors are current or retired executives, simply writing till there, it won't give you mark. You need to explain how does it help, how does this retired executive helps the upcoming startups and also. This is how you have to explain. Now next again writing, these angel investors bear extremely high risk. So how do they bear high risk? You need to explain that. This is how you're getting your 5 marks. Now these are the 5 different points that Sahodaya have stated here. Now moving to next question, 33rd question, that is, define marketing plan. What are the steps? Now marketing plan and steps, there is steps in marketing plan, and simply please don't write the 4 P's of marketing or production mix, place mix, price mix. Don't write that. That is wrong. That can be listed as an example, or that can be included in the definition, but not as a step. So please study well that. Next one is, what is operational plan means. What do you mean by operational plan, and what are the objectives of operational plan? That is the question in the first question. Second question, what are the elements of operational plan? So marketing plan, moving on to the first question, A part of the question, that is marketing plan. You need to explain what is marketing plan, then you need to list out the steps. Simply list outing doesn't give you mark. Again I'm explaining, you need to explain each and every point in sentences to score full 5 marks. So you need to explain what is business situation analysis, how do we identify the target market, what are the different ways to identify the target market, what is SWOT analysis, how do we conduct SWOT analysis, how do we establish goal, how do we define market strategies. All these things should be explained. Now moving on to next question, that is operation. So first question is, you have to define what is operational strategy. Now next one is, what are the objectives of operational strategy. So you need to explain what are the objectives. Then moving on to second question, that is, what are the elements of operational plan. So operational plan, the elements is routing, scheduling, dispatching, follow-up, inspection, and in shipping. So these are the 6 steps or six elements of operational strategy or operational plan. So hope this question is clear to you. As you can see, it is very well explained in the answer key. So you need to explain as it is in the textbook. Simply writing one sentence or one sentences, or simply listing out the point doesn't give you full 5 marks. For Cbse, they need explanation. Now moving on to this question. Yes, this question, as you can see, I have explained this question in one of my previous video. Please do look at that video. So I am explaining this question here again. So Flavored Food Limited, they started a business. They are having 3 different flavors: classic cheese, toasted corns, and tangy tomato. Fixed cost is 38,000. You are asked to find weighted contribution margin and break even point. So yes, this is one of the easy questions. as well as one tricky question as well. Since sales mix percentage is not given to you, you are asked to find sales mix percentage as well. Now moving on to the answer. See, first you have to find contribution. How do we find contribution? Yes, contribution is sales minus variable cost. So 80 minus 40, 45 minus 15, 60 minus 20, that is contribution. Now we don't have sales mix percentage. We need sales mix percentage to find weighted contribution margin. Now you might be thinking break even point per product. So how do we find per product? So for per product you might be thinking you can use contribution divided by so fixed cost divided by contribution, and for each and every. No. So if there is a multiple product, it is always safe to use the formula of break even point of multiple products. So what is the formula to find break even point of multiple product? Yes, fixed cost divided by weighted contribution margin. So how do you find weighted contribution margin? First you need to find sales mix percentage. Now in the question, if they have already given sales mix percentage, then you can eliminate this particular step. Now here sales mix percentage is not given, so we need to find sales mix percentage. The formula to find sales mix percentage is, yes, units sold divided by total units into 100. Why 100? It is in percentage. You need to find it in percentage. So you have to multiply it with 100. So total units sold is, in classic cheese is 100. In classic cheese units sold is 100. Total units sold is 100 plus 40 plus 60, that is 200 into 100. So 50 percentage. Then packet sold is 40 divided by 200 into 100, 60 by 200 into 100. So this is the packet sold. Now moving on. Now once you have got sales mix percentage, next you have to find is contribution margin. Now how do you find contribution margin? Sales into sales mix percentage into contribution, or you can say C into, C means contribution, contribution into sales mix percentage. So 40 into 50 percentage is equal to 20. So 30 into 20 percentage is equal to 6. 40 into 30 percentage is equal to 12. So the total of all these three is the weighted contribution margin. So A plus B plus C, that is 20 plus 6 plus 12, that is 38. That is the weighted contribution margin. Now you have fixed cost is already given to you, and you have the weighted contribution margin. All you have to do is you have to substitute into the formula. What is the formula to find break even product? Break even point in total, that is fixed cost or fixed expenses divided by weighted contribution. So 38,000 divided by 38 is 1000 units. So break even point is always in units. You are finding it in units, not percentage. So please write 1000 units in the answer. Now you have to find BEP per product. So you have to find break even point for classic cheese, toasted corn and tangy tomato. So how do you find? You already have sales mix percentage. Sales mix percentage means it is the percentage of units sold in particular item. So 1000 into 50 percentage, that is 500 units. So total BEP into sales mix percentage, that is 1000 into 50 percentage, 1000 into 20 percentage, 1000 into 30 percentage. This is how you are finding. So the total 500, 200, 300. This is the answer for the second question, BEP in BEP per product. I hope this question is clear to you. If you are having any doubt, I have explained it in detail in very last in my previous video. Please do look into that video as well. Now if you are having any doubt in this particular question paper, please do comment on my channel. I will be making videos on your doubts, and please do keep it in mind that simply explaining in points doesn't give you marks. Simply listing out like this doesn't give you marks. You need to explain it in points. You have to explain each and every points as well, that too not in single sentences, up to 3 to 4 sentences each. Now next couple of things which I want to say is, please do not write anything in the margin side of your answer sheet. So when you're doing calculating, for example you are doing EOQ and all, you might be thinking, okay, this writing in the right side of the question paper will be much easier. No, you have to always left side of your question paper will be much easy. No, left side is not, it's not a place where you have to write. It is told universally. So when you do, if you want to do calculation, you have to draw a margin to the right side, and all your calculation should be done in this side, to the right side of the answer sheet, and from there you have to write it into your main area where you are writing your answers. Do not write it in the margin, do not write it to the left side of your answer sheet. You have to write it in the right, you have to do your workings in the right side by drawing a margin. Never do it on the top of the answer sheet as well, that you will be losing marks if you're doing it in the top side or to the left side of the margin. So please keep it in mind when you're writing your answers. Again, do not write it in points, you need to explain it. If the question is enlist or list out, then only you explain, you list it out the headings. Otherwise, please do explain it in 2 to 3 sentences, 3 to 4 sentences, or 5 to 6 sentences according to the questions as well. I hope this question I have cleared all your doubts according to this Sahodaya question paper. Now, if you're having any doubt regarding any other topic, please do comment on my channel. I'll be explaining your doubts in another video. And all the best to all the students who are appearing for the exam on February 15th. So God bless you. Have a really good day. Study well. Thank you.